Welcome to the video for the Year 13 information. This is for all parents of Year 12 students who are going into Year 13 for 2022 through to 2023. Now, I'm sure many of you are aware of the sixth form team, but just a reminder that I am the head of sixth form. My name's Mrs. Morrissey. We have Mr. Hunter as the deputy head of sixth form. Mr. Clifford will be the head of Year 13, so he will be the main point of contact for you and your son or daughter. And we also have Mrs. O'Neill, the head of Year 12, and Mrs. Moynihan, who is our Key Stage 5 pastoral manager. The tutor team, now you'll see there's been a slight change to the names of some of the groups because of the change to the AOL system in the lower school. So we have gone for Ava, Claire, Leo, Simon and Thomas. You'll know from your son or daughter's timetable which of those they are in, and you have the main tutor there as a point of contact as well. Now, in terms of future pathways, what are the options? We did a lot of this in Futures Week, which was really successful. The students seem to really enjoy it, and some have been really inspired by the talks or the activities that took place. The options that they have are to go to university, either in the UK or abroad, to take a gap year, to possibly work or travel, to find an apprenticeship, and that can be a working apprenticeship or a degree apprenticeship, or to go straight into employment. We will support all students no matter which of those pathways they decide to take. Now, personal statements and references. This is something that's very important at the moment for students to complete. All students in Year 13 must complete a personal statement. Even though it's something that we find that students need for UCAS and their university applications, it's also an excellent way to have a cover letter ready to go for any employment or apprenticeships. So all students must complete a personal statement, and they will do this on Unifrog. So they will have a structure that they can put in all the information, and that makes it a lot easier for it to be checked by their tutor or by one chosen person. We would recommend that your son or daughter does not send it to loads and loads of different people. It may be confusing in terms of the feedback. It would be better if they just selected one, maybe two people to look at their personal statement. They then need to send this personal statement to their reference writer, and their reference writer is one person who will use all the teacher comments that will be provided to the staff through Unifrog, and they will collate it all together alongside the personal statement to write a reference either for university or for employment. They need to have enough time to be able to write a good reference for your child. So the personal statement shouldn't be provided to the teacher the day before they want to send their application. That's not fair. So they do need to ensure that they give the teacher plenty of time to do this. If there is a specific time scale, then the student should make the referee aware. All students should get an academic reference by the end of Year 13. We have found in previous years, including this year, that many students need an academic reference up to 5-6 years into the future. So if we have something on file, particularly if staff members move on, it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to provide that reference. Now, your personal statement should include aspirations for why that particular subject choice or career, what skills and topics they have learned in A-level and BTEC subjects, and any correct extracurricular activities and relevant experience. And as I said, the referee will use all of this information to create a student reference. Some of the references won't be written until a little bit later, particularly if it's a student who's looking for work or apprenticeship. We have to work to a very tight timescale for UCAS deadline. So therefore those references will be completed first, but then all other references will be done post-Christmas. Now, in regards to the UCAS process, all students have been set up with a UCAS account if they were here during Futures Week. So they all have that login and they are all in the Student Hub. If for some reason they were not here for Futures Week, then they need to really come and see myself so that I can get them set up on UCAS appropriately. They need to apply through UCAS if they are applying to university in the UK. If they want to apply to a university abroad, then there are different application processes that we will need to look into for them. So they should come and have a conversation with myself or Mr. Clifford to let us know where they're thinking of applying to. When they select their university choices, they have to select 5 universities. So ideally, one will be an aspirational choice, so slightly above their predicted grades. 3 will be realistic based on their predicted grades, and 1 will be a safe choice just in case something did not go to plan for the exams. The deadline for any students who are looking at Oxford or Cambridge, medicine, veterinary science or dental applications, they only have until the 15th of October, and some of the entrance exams are already looking for people to sign up. So they have already been introduced to Mr. Hunter, who deals with our Oxbridge programme, and they have been provided with information by him and also Ms. Leaday, who has been working on the Oxbridge programme as well this year. So they should know what entrance exams, where to look for information, and have that deadline already. The 25th of November is the deadline for all other applications. So every student who is applying to university should be trying to get their application in by the 25th of November. The reason why we want them in at that time, because some of you may know from having previous children at the school that the UCAS deadline on their website is January, is because the earlier they get their application in, the better the offers will be. If it's left to the last minute, the offers will not be as good. So we want all applications in by the 25th of November. There is a £26 charge by UCAS, and this can be paid by credit or debit card. If students are receiving the bursary, then they need to speak to myself beforehand so that we can sort that out. Students should only send their application with UCAS once the following has been completed. So they need to choose 5 universities, and they should have based this on research and visits, particularly to open days for those universities. They have written their personal statement and it has been approved by a member of the sixth form team. Students should be going through several drafts of a personal statement. It's unlikely that it will be complete after just 1 or 2 attempts. The reference has been written by the teacher and sent for approval to the student. They need to obviously give the referee a personal statement and maybe the university choices as well to do this. That particularly includes if there are courses that have different names, because the referee will need to include all of those. All 5 universities will only see 1 personal statement. And then they need to make an appointment with either myself or with Mr. Clifford to complete their UCAS application. All UCAS applications should be done with me in this office so that I can make sure that it is all okay. Now, when the application goes through, there are predicted grades given to the students by the teachers. These predicted grades are based on a variety of different things, including progress scores, target grades, and also PPE results from year 12. Now, a student's grades may be slightly aspirational for UCAS, so they could be slightly higher than their target grades. And this is to allow students the opportunity to apply to certain universities. It is not the final predicted grade of the teacher. For example, a student may be producing work that's at a B grade so far, and I may predict them a B as an aspirational target for their UCAS prediction. However, nearer towards April time, when we complete the final progress for year 13, they may not have secured that B and possibly might be predicted a C. So the grades can change. Predicted grades will not be raised unless there is evidence of work to support it. We cannot predict a student an A just because they say that they're going to work hard or they're going to achieve it. Unless work is provided to the teacher and the students have all summer to do this, and also the majority of the first term back to produce work, essays, exam papers, projects, to show the teacher that they are of a grade that they would like. The PPs in October will also provide us with evidence for those predicted grades as well. When it comes to open days, we would recommend that you only go to a university if it's a scheduled open day. They may not be able to show you everything if you just show up. All the information for those open days are on the university websites or on the UCAS website as well. And if your child is going on an open day, just keep the school informed through attendance or study bugs, and that will be marked on their attendance that is what they are doing. Students have also been informed that they should be completing either work experience during the summer holidays, if possible, or something called a MOOC, which is a massive open online course. And we highly recommend them. They allow students to experience some of the subjects that they might be doing at university, or to provide extra curricular activities that they can do to add to their personal statement. During the summer, they should also be completing their first draft of their personal statement and researching universities and apprenticeships, including the entry requirements. And that means also the entrance exams. Many universities now will ask for a certain entrance exam depending on the course and the subject. So students need to look into what entrance exam it is, whether they need to do it, whether they need to pay for it, and also when that needs to be completed by. Our tutor program will continue in the morning now, based on the new school timings, and it's very important that students attend the tutor program, because the focus, particularly until the October half term, will be on UCAS, on personal statements, on CVs, on searches for both university and apprenticeships, and also on interviewing and psychometric testing. We cover a huge amount of that during tutor time. If a student is not attending tutor time at all, but then requests time throughout the day with either myself or Mrs. O'Neill or Mr. Clifford to get this kind of feedback, it's a little bit unfair, to be honest, because we have that time scheduled and squirreled away so that we can focus entirely on that. So please, if you could ensure that your child arrives to school promptly on time when we are doing tutor time, we can support them with all of this. In regards to well-being, it is still a massive priority for us, particularly in year 13, when the stress and the realization of future plans and exams comes to fruition. So we will continue with our one-to-one interviews with tutors. Students can always come and see a member of the sixth forms team, whether it be myself, Mr. Clifford, Mrs. O'Neill, or even better, Mrs. Moynihan, our new pastoral manager, who is available all the time. So she hasn't got a teaching timetable, which means that she's more likely to be available in the sixth form office. If you have any concerns at all or anything that you would like to discuss, the first point of contact should be the tutor, which is on the first slide. Then obviously Mr. Clifford, the head of year 13, or myself if you do need to speak to us. Throughout the year, we do offer various different tips and strategies on how to cope with stress, a bit of mindfulness, and we provide lots of information about time management and study skills as well. Now, the sixth form dress code is the same as it was before. We have slightly amended it just to make it even clearer. Lanyards are particularly important. It is a safeguarding issue. as I have mentioned in previous communications. And if a student doesn't have a lanyard, then they will be sent home to obtain one. This is something that we would have in the workplace, but also because they do wear dress code rather than uniform, they need clear identification. All students are to wear a smart suit with a jacket or blazer in any colour. So this can be a trouser suit, a dress suit, or a skirt suit. Shirts, plain tops or blouses of any colour, and shoes or boots of any colour. That is our dress code, and we would like students to adhere to this more closely. Wool jumpers, cardigans, waistcoats, ties are optional alongside a student suit, particularly during certain seasons. So we know that people like to wear jumpers in the winter. If for some reason a student's dress code is found to be inappropriate, then I do have the final veto. I'm hoping that won't be the case, but a student can be sent home if we feel that their dress code is not adhering to what we require. Attendance is more important than ever. Woodfield in 2006 found that attendance is a significant determinant of academic achievement. If a student is not in school, they are not going to achieve as well as they should do. Some students have currently missed 50% of their A-level, either because they've been signed off and parents have called in, or the student has called in themselves, or through unauthorized absence. But either way, attendance needs to increase. They cannot be self-taught. A-levels are incredibly difficult. Need to be in school from 8:40 until 3:10, which are the new school timings. And if they're not in for a viable reason, then parents need to contact attendance or go through study bugs. If they do that, then the attendance figure will not be impacted. Driver's lessons, medical appointments, they should not be during the school day. Even if students have a study period, they should be using that for study. They are there to allow students to achieve the highest possible grade. If there is a genuine need for your son or daughter to not be in school, then you please ask myself or Mr. Clifford for prior permission. Study leave will be granted for all students if we feel they will work at home during study periods. All lessons must still be attended, and you will be informed about whether they will receive that or not, and whether you agree with it. So particularly some students at the moment who we may have contacted in regards to attendance, we will be looking at whether those students should be receiving study leave next year. Students are still allowed off-site for lunchtime and break time, but they must swipe in and out using their lanyards. Part-time work. Now we know that some students have a part-time job. Absolutely fine. It's great work experience, great for a personal statement, good skills to learn, but they should not be committing themselves to more than 12 hours a week. Anything more we have seen can have an impact on student performance and progress, particularly when there are deadlines and they're trying to juggle that with work as well. We also recommend that your time outside of school, so that is not during study periods in school, outside of the school day, 15 to 20 hours should be completed every week on A-levels. So that could be completing coursework, it could be revision, it could be preparation for future lessons, all sorts of things. Completing homework. So there is a huge array of activities that students should or could not be doing. So if they say they haven't got any work, it is not necessarily the case. There's a bursary available, 16 to 19 bursary fund. So for students who may require funding to purchase dress code, school textbooks, devices, anything, open days, anything that they require to allow them to achieve, please, 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 if you're unsure, ask and we can see if you would meet the requirements. So you can apply directly to us, to Mrs. Moynihan. Her email is there, and this also includes if your circumstances change throughout the year. So even if maybe you didn't require it in September but something happens in November time, you can still apply for it at any point during the school year. Here's a list of some useful websites for you that it might be worth having a look at, that the students have also been made aware of. So the UCAS website, UniFrog, the Uni Guide, Not Going to Uni, and also the Government Apprenticeship website. I've also included here the Student Finance website if people would like to look at that. Many students do require a student loan to be able to go to university. We can offer some guidance on student finance and bursaries, but we will not be able to help complete applications. So we only have minor information to share about that, but the website is very comprehensive. Finally, I'd just like to say a massive thank you from myself and the sixth form team for all your support throughout this difficult time over the last few years. Hopefully coming out the other side, but we do appreciate your support and we hope we can count on it next year as well. And we really look forward to working with you and your child and seeing them be successful. It's really exciting to see what their next pathway and destination is going to be. And obviously, if you have any questions or queries, please let us know. Thank you. Have a lovely summer and we will see you in September. Take care.